Hello, I'm Ashwrom, and I will be your host for today's podcast. As always, I hope everyone watching is enjoying their holidays. I also hope that you are excited for the new year 2024. Hopefully, it will be a good one and a great one for you, especially. In the past, I have done a podcast with my friend Chloe, which I would recommend watching after this podcast, where we talked about art and gave tips for any you future artists out there. However, there's more to art than just drawing and painting. Another art form that I am going to talk about to you today is the performing arts, specifically what goes on behind the scenes during the performances. I would like to start off by saying that I have partake and viewed what goes on behind the scenes, mostly from at schools, but I've also seen at least once what has happened at a professional theater, and that was kind of cool and interesting. I also would like to say that I wasn't one of those performance kids. I kind of wanted to be, but then I realized that performing, well, it's fun, but I didn't really get much into it. So, yeah. Okay, so the very first time I went backstage, or I truly saw what happens behind the scenes on a stage or a performance, was actually the time that I went with one of my after kind of school groups with my mom. And I actually first went to see the performance Mary Poppins, which is actually one of my favorite Disney movies, at the professional theater. And after the performance was done, they were so nice. They allowed us up on stage, which was super nice of them. After everybody left and went, there was this lady who came out who was all dressed in black. And the reason why she's all dressed in black is when the stage lights kind of go out, or they dim the lights, it's an open scene, they quickly just go and to not be seen by any the people will not really make a statement. They just wear black so they can do that. Also, and do scene swaps or just swaps and props that rhymes. They have everything mostly on wheels, just so they can, or definitely there's something that they push and someone else pulls. They make everything go fast and easy, and so it's just done quickly. But yeah. Also a little disclaimer, by the way, the reason why this part of the podcast sounds like I'm just slurring my words is because I'm wearing my retainer. Anyways, back to the story, what I was saying earlier. So that's kind of what they do. In fact, there was one of them, I forget what it was called. I don't know what it's called in anything really, but it had a little arch to it. It was really cool that they kind of brought in backstage, and in fact they used it for one of their scenes where they're at the bank. Although this is a spoiler, so sorry if you haven't seen, excuse me, so if you haven't seen any other performance, a play of it already, or the movie. But anyway, so they go to the bank, and they have this whole thing, and they use a little windows, whatever. They asked us if we remember, where it was from. We didn't, sadly, but anyways, they used it for the center bank, and they had that ledge there, and they kind of just peek through the windows, pretend like they're at the bank. So obviously you can't have a real bank or full bank there because it's way too much. Anyways, so they use that with almost everything to make things go fast, or at least things that, either that or a door, or just something that's much bigger and heavier, and they'll need the wheels to get them back. One other thing though that they've mentioned was the orchestra pit. Now when I go see a performance, I mainly orchestra pit stand out to me. The orchestra pit is where the orchestra plays and the director is during a performance. They also have a net that over top. This is to prevent if anybody were to fall off the stage, which I don't think really happens as much, but if they were to fall off stage, it would just probably catch them or kind of, so they don't fall on top of the orchestra while they're playing. They also use it to where they throw props. They throw onto that, like it makes it look like they're throwing it onto the audience. They actually throw it on that. That way the crew can come either after the performance, the whole performance is done, they collect the props, or someone can just kneel down and go grab them once the scene is done and quickly run back stage as quickly as possible. So that's kind of cool. Also, there's the booth. So the booth is where they do all the sound and lighting and have the spotlights. They also have a projector up there if they want to. That's how they get backgrounds and stuff, is by projecting it behind them if needed. I guess then, yeah. And it's also to make sure that all the sound is great. Also, when doing performances, they have mics, or at least wear headsets. This is so everybody in the crew can communicate. And they have a little box, or not box, like a pack that they wear, too. That's kind of what they all wear, to turn on and off the mic. Anyways, and so, that's that. And so backstage. So one thing about backstage is for the people who do the whole closing the curtains. By the way, curtains can hurt. Or not hurt, but they can really just they can close on you if you don't get out of the way fast enough, which I have seen several times, sadly. But it can also kind of hurt because they move really, really fast when closing the curtains, and it's not the most subtle thing to do. Well, not really, again, I shouldn't say hurt again, but it's really just, it can hit you, and that's it. And also, they wear gloves when they're doing so, because I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but they use it, I think, for grip-wise, but also, I think they might do it so their hands might not get too dirty. But, yeah, that's the thing. They go really, 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 really fast. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it's kind of, yeah, I forgot what it's like. It's kind of twined around something as it, moves. It's I can say this. It's a pulley system, if you learn about those at school. And then, so when we went backstage, we saw that all vanities and mirrors were there for their makeup, and I don't know, no one was really doing makeup except maybe I think one or two people were there, and then they have all their clothing back there on racks, and then it's just easy and accessible to when they need them, and their wigs were somewhere probably in a box or something, or just probably out on their vanities if needed, or just everything that they need is there. They have lights around it. It was kind of pretty and cool, and I liked it. They showed us the different things that they use backstage, and that's where they answered all of our questions, which was nice. And it was nice kind of just seeing kind of backstage. It was a really fun experience for us. And yeah. Oh, I don't know actually. Oh, maybe I don't, but I'll listen to this later. Sorry, that was my brain. That's just me thinking for you. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Anyways, until next time, bye.